Hey guys, it's KJ from the Scariest Movie Ever channel on YouTube, and boy do I have a doozy for you. I've been researching all aspects of our reality for almost 10 years of my life, both on and off of YouTube. And after looking into all these strange subjects for so many years, you get to a point sometimes where you think you've pretty much seen it all. But what makes this so much fun, because I love learning new things, but what makes so much more fun and interesting for me is that I'm constantly reminded that no, I have not seen everything. And this here is a case in point. This article here is from September 10th, 2010. And I'm really surprised I never saw this because it's right up our alley. If you're watching my videos, most likely you're into this same kind of research. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I think the best way to show you this at first is to go ahead and do it through Google Earth, and I'll record that. That way you can see for sure that what I'm about to show you isn't photoshopped or faked. This is huge. And I've got a lot more interesting connections to show you after I show you the symbolism. So we're going to take a look in the Los Angeles area. Hollywood had one of the top artists agencies. It's creative artists agencies. This is a talent agency that's behind some of the biggest A-list actors out there. So here we have creative artists agencies, once again one of the biggest talent agencies in Hollywood. If you're new to my channel, one of the things we explore the most is the language of symbols. There's a whole other language taking place. It's ancient. It's been with us since the very beginning. There's another language in front of our very eyes that tells a very different story. So let's close in just a little bit, and I want to show you what I'm talking about. Maybe you can see it now. You've got one right here on top of this building, and then you've got the pyramid. Right? Actually looks more like the Freemasons square and compass, but in between there you've got the all-seeing eye. I'll give you a better picture of that as well. This is also a part of the same structure, but if you take a look right here, we have two more pyramids in these buildings, and they're both touching at the apex. So this is your as above, so below, right here. These symbols tell us the rest of the story. Most of us understand that Hollywood's a very wicked industry. And now we have confirmation through the symbols themselves. So as above, so below. Move down, and the square and compass, the Masons, pyramid with the eye in the center, and then the all-seeing eye right here on top of this building. So it's a little harder to distinguish the all-seeing eye that was on top of the smaller building, kind of to the left of that main pyramid there with the eye. But we've already seen it, we know it exists, and beyond that I'll just show you right here. It's fascinating. You've got your three pyramid structures, once again the two pyramids touching at the apex, the as above, so below, and right in the center you have the main pyramid with the all-seeing eye. This also looks very familiar to the Freemason square and compass. This is definitive proof of the entity of the system that runs the Hollywood system. We are in a worldwide beast system. Typically we follow the symbols to understand more about the system we're in. Hollywood itself is one of the most degenerate and disgusting creations to come out of this beast system. So it should come as no surprise we find this Illuminati symbolism or satanic symbolism all around. So I first saw this information on another YouTube channel called Pockets of the Future, so I want to give them a shout out. They recently did a video showing this, so I started doing a little bit of digging myself, and that's where I found that original story from 2010. But I found a lot more. Remember, the whole reason we do this is to expose the beast system around us, to show people the really satanic prison that we are all in on this planet in one form or another. So it's good to have confirmations. We connect dots, we follow the clues, and typically if this is something real and something that we need to observe, you'll find your confirmations, you'll find more evidence. So I did some digging and I found out who it was that actually designed this building. I found out who designed all of this. What's most interesting is what the same man, the same architect of all of this right here we're seeing around CAA, What's most interesting is what else this man has been involved in creating. So can you take a guess just off the top of your head, somebody that would design something like this? With Illuminati symbolism, satanic symbolism, all around us right before our very eyes. What else could this guy have created? Think about it for a second. Let me show you. His name is Minoru Yamasaki, and he's been dubbed the Architect of Disaster. In the beginning of his career in the 1950s and 1960s, he was among the most celebrated and admired architects in the entire world. But after the 70s, no other architect in the history of the profession had suffered so many failures. They labeled him the Architect of Disaster because throughout the decades after the 70s, he continually designed buildings, the buildings would be created, and then they'd have to be destroyed shortly thereafter because there were inaccuracies or there were issues with the building itself. So here it is. Turns out this is also the same man, the same architect behind the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers. The 9/11 event was one of the biggest satanic sacrifices in our world history, in my opinion. I've covered that subject in many other videos. But I find this absolutely fascinating. Because in my estimation, the same man that was the creator for these pillars, which turned out to be once again one of the biggest Illuminati-type sacrifices, a public ritual that we've ever seen in our history. The same man is responsible for putting all the Illuminati symbols, Freemason symbols, all over one of the biggest talent agencies in Hollywood. Please don't tell me this is a coincidence. Numerology is a really big deal to these Satanists and to these occultists, and so is the language of symbolism. You should study the twins or study the 11s. The 11 shows up in all kinds of events. It's very interesting. And it's all by design. I believe this is literally a spiritual language we're looking into. I'll give you an example of the 11s. So keep in mind that the number 22 is a master number, and this is basic numerology. It's also the number of the master builder. The 22 is also an 1111. So we have the twin factor in there as well. So it's fascinating how often we find this number showing up in many of these world events, staged events, false flags, attacks. This is from the Norway terror attack, which actually happened on 7/22/11. And this is from the Woolwich attack, which actually happened on 5/22/2013. And this right here is from the Brussels attack, which happened on 3/22/2016. Also the 322, the number of the skull and bones. And this right here is from the Munich attack, which happened on 7/22/2016. And this right here is from the London attack, and of course that happened on 3/22/2017. Once again, the 322, the skull and bones, American Illuminati connection. And then we conclude with the Manchester attack, which happened on 5/22/2017. So in conclusion, the same man that created this right here, this structure, with Illuminati symbolism, Freemason symbolism, you may say satanic symbolism or New World Order symbolism. Either way, it's right there in front of our eyes. So the same man created the Twin Towers. These towers were built to be destroyed. It's interesting. I believe they were built to be destroyed for this massive satanic sacrifice, also to propel the police state even quicker. And not only that, after they destroyed the Twin Towers, they gave us the largest federal agency in American history, Homeland Security. So I believe these were built to be destroyed. Once again, if you look at the history of Mr. Yamasaki, you'll find he has a history of building buildings that constantly get destroyed. I don't find this a coincidence. I do find this all absolutely fascinating. And we also cover the significance of the 11s, or the twin system, when it comes to this occult research, or when it comes to understanding the beast system. All of these planned events they have, false flag events, always falling with the same numbers. This is not a coincidence. This is a glimpse inside the mind of the beast system, a hive mind of the beast system. So I'll leave you with that, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate you as always checking out my videos. I'll be back with more soon. Until then, take care, alright? And I'll talk to you a little later.